The laughter cut sharper than the wine, before a sea of distinguished guests. A billionaire's sister, with her glass tilted, let the crimson liquid cascade down the black CEO's shoulder in slow and deliberate rivulets, just simply dripping with pure arrogance. Gasps broke the silence. Then the room exploded into cruel amusement. Cameras flashed. Whispers swarmed like insects. But the woman they mocked didn't flinch. Soraya Voss simply lifted her chin, calm, steady, calculating, her eyes cool enough to turn the insult into data. Seconds later, her phone buzzed. She answered with 5 quiet words. And within minutes, an empire worth billions began to crumble in real time. The glittering chandeliers overhead cast the ballroom like a palace built on ego, each handshake rehearsed, every smile an act, every sip of champagne a competition for dominance. And standing at the center of it all was Soraya Voss, CEO of Voss Technologies, the woman who'd just secured a $2.4 billion partnership with the Sterling Group. Her victory had been the headline of the night, until it transformed into the scandal everyone suddenly wanted to witness. The whispers started soft. Who invited her? Someone murmured. She doesn't exactly fit in. Polite laughter followed. Polite until it wasn't. Down the grand staircase came Isabella Sterling, the sister of the billionaire, wrapped in silk and entitlement. She moved with a smile, sharpened by envy, a glass of deep red wine swirling in her perfectly manicured hand. "Oh, you must be the partner," she said, pausing long enough for the venom to settle between each word. "My brother has certainly bold taste in business." Soraya returned a polite smile. "And I have bold standards." The poised confidence didn't sit well with Isabella. She leaned in closer. "You know, not everyone can buy a seat at this table." Soraya did not blink. "Some of us built the table." A tense silence stretched, thin and brittle. Then Isabella smiled and tilted her glass. Wine splattered across Soraya's shoulder, sliding down her dress like spilled arrogance. Gasps echoed through the room. Then came the laughter, nervous, hollow, complicit. Soraya didn't budge. Isabella's voice cut through the tension. "Oh dear, I didn't see you there. You blend in so easily." The jab hung in the air like smoke. Cameras clicked. Someone whispered, "She'll never recover from this." But Soraya didn't shout, didn't react, didn't even blink. She reached for her phone. The room braced for drama. Instead, silence. She scrolled once, tapped twice, and lifted the phone. "Proceed," she said softly. One word, the kind that shifts the ground beneath a room. In a matter of minutes, screens lit up across the ballroom. Notifications buzzed. Executives paled as they read the headlines spreading like wildfire. Breaking news. Voss Technologies cancels $2.4 billion contract with Sterling Group. Isabella's smirk disappeared. "What did you do?" Soraya glanced over at her, unperturbed. "You poured the wrong glass." Before the shock could settle, Charles Sterling, the billionaire brother, stormed across the room, phone in hand. "Soraya, this is a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding," she said factly. "Your board violated our integrity clause. The contract is void. You can't do that," he snapped. "I already did." He froze as the truth hit him. Around them, investors were reading the same announcement from the verified Voss Technologies account. Voss Technologies hereby informs that, effective immediately, it is withdrawing from its partnership with the Sterling Group on account of certain irreconcilable ethical differences. The cameras swiveled toward Soraya again, but this time, no one laughed. She put her glass, still full, on the table nearby and spoke to the room. "Power isn't about who can humiliate whom. It's about who can rebuild." Without asking for permission, the silence enveloped the ballroom. The only sound was the hum of phones refreshing the headlines. Desperately, Charles tried to regain control. "You'll regret this. You can't destroy decades of partnership over a glass of wine." Charles's voice cracked through the tension, but Soraya didn't so much as blink. "I didn't destroy it," she calmly replied. "You did when arrogance became your business model." Her tone wasn't loud. It didn't have to be. Every word was sharp enough to leave a mark. Instead of walking toward the exit, Soraya stepped onto the stage where the event's charity banners still hung. She lifted the microphone as her eyes swept across a crowd that suddenly seemed very small. "When I walked into this room," she started, "I was reminded how easily power mistakes itself for class. But class isn't what you wear. It isn't what you own. It's how you treat people when you think there will be no consequences." Not a single breath stirred. The ballroom seemed to stand suspended in silence. "Tonight isn't my humiliation," she went on. "It's this room's reflection. I sincerely hope you're proud of what you see." The cameras captured everything. The shaking of Isabella's hands, the incredulity frozen on Charles's face, and Soraya Voss, quiet and shining, standing steady and unbroken. She set down the microphone and headed toward the exit. No guards trailed behind. No one dared step in her way. Outside, the air was cold. Still, a car door opened. Her assistant bustled forward with a tablet. "Press is exploding," he said, out of breath. "Sterling stock has dropped 12% in 15 minutes. Soraya looked out the window. "It'll fall further. Integrity always costs more than people expect." "Should we issue a public statement?" he asked. She shook her head. "I already did." Inside the gala, champagne had turned to chaos. Reporters shouted. Investors whispered about ethics clauses. Charles Sterling was already on the phone with lawyers as his empire unraveled, one notification at a time. The Sterling Group had lost $480 million in market value by morning. Analysts would later call it the quietest corporate execution in history. At noon, Soraya posted a single message across her company's platforms: "Respect is not negotiable." The internet exploded. The statement broke sharing records as CEOs, activists, journalists, and even government officials passed it around. Within hours, the viral clip of Isabella's spilled wine and Soraya's silent retaliation had reached 400 million views. That night, during a live interview, the journalist leaned forward and said, "How did it feel to humiliate them so completely?" Soraya gave a faint, knowing smile. "I didn't humiliate anyone. I reminded them of the hierarchy they forgot." "And which hierarchy is that?" he asked. "The one where decency ranks above dollars." The quote became iconic. Boardrooms framed it, universities analyzed it, investors repeated it, and Voss Technologies, its valuation tripled in months. The Sterling Empire fell, brought down by the weight of its own pride. Isabella disappeared from public view, her name retold only as a cautionary tale. Months later, standing before global leaders, Soraya spoke once more. "Silence isn't weakness. It is the fuse before truth explodes." The audience erupted in applause. For Soraya, it had never been about revenge. It was correction, because true power doesn't shout. It doesn't seek applause. It acts once decisively and lets the resonance of that echo in the world for years to come. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such power-packed real-life, inspired stories ahead. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in Soraya's place? Your engagement helps these stories reach more people who need to hear them. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another story of courage, integrity, and true power.